Hi everyone, this is Rita Holmes, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I'm coming tonight to bring you another card. This time it will be a fun fold card, and I hope you enjoy it. But first of all, before we get to that, I would like to say that if you do not have a demonstrator and need to order something or that, I would love to be that demonstrator to do that for you. Or if you would like to join my team, right now you can join for $99, get $125 worth of free merchandise, plus you get to pick out 2 stamp sets free from either the annual catalog or the new mini catalog. Not bundles, just stamp sets. Just wanted to let you know that goes on to February 28th, so there's always time to do that. And I just want to invite you over to my Facebook page also, which is called Stamp Crazy VIP. That is where I put all the PDFs for the cards that I do that you see on here. I have PDFs over there in the files section that you can go and take advantage of at any time. So, not much else to tell you. Celebration ends this month, at the end of the month, February 28th. So that's the little catalog. For every $50 you spend, you're able to pick out an item out of there. There are a couple that you have to spend the $100 for. And if you want any of those, you might want to get an order together and place it so that you can get some of those items. Also, let me see. Not a whole lot's going on. We have our all together stamp set, which has the new skin tones in it and stuff that you can order now. We have some kits that you can order that are really good. We have a new kit out with a magnet board. I haven't got mine yet. I did order it yesterday, so I'll be glad to get that and see what that's all about and put the cards together. I don't know why I'm looking up so much, but I am kind of crazy. I can see my phone stand in the top right here. This little thing right here is where I put my phone when I turn my things down for you to be able to see, which we are going to do right now. I just want to say hello to you, put a face to you so you know who I am, and we will go ahead and turn ourselves now. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this up and let you see my ceiling again, and there we go. There is our card. So the card we're going to be making is this one right here. It is called, these are both the same, done the same way. This is called an accordion lock fold card. And what it is, it's a gatefold card, but it has a mechanism here that holds it down that you can flip these out and do it. And it's done by making a little mechanism that you put behind it that holds it up, and then you can just put these in under there. And it also has a crease in the middle. This one is done the same way, but I used the butterflies from the Brilliant Butterflies die cuts and did that, and open that up, and there you have that. This paper is from the Daffodil Afternoon, which is in the Celebration catalog. So it will be going away the end of the month. But it's got a lot of pretty stuff with the daisies. It kind of goes with our, I mean not daisies, but daffodils. It coordinates with the daffodil set in the mini catalog. But here's just a lot of the different papers that we are using this one today. But there's a lot of different ones. I haven't used that one yet, so. But I have plenty of this, so I decided I was going to use some of it up. So that's why I picked this paper today. So if you've gotten it, you haven't used it yet, you can see a couple cards made with it. Both cards, the DSP, were out of that same paper pack. I'm also going to be using this saying, comes from the Encircled in Friendship. Just a note to let you know that someone thought of you today, which I think that is a nice little saying. And I like this one too. In a world where you can be anything, thank you for being kind. Which we all need to try to be more kind than what we are sometimes, because we tend to be in such a rush all the time. So I am trying to get my iPad, making sure that I've got you guys all in eyesight here from, because I can't see my phone from up there. I also use the layering circles, and I used this one. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4. I used this circle. Yeah. This one, and with this, nope, not that one. I get them all confused sometimes. It's this. Nope, it's the other one. It is this one. It just looks little to me. I use that with that because it just barely shows the around there. And then I use this bigger one as the background for my evening evergreen. This one's done in ivory, and then the scalloped one is done in or not ivory, very vanilla. And then the scalloped one is done in petal pink. So let's get started, and I will show you how to make this card. I have not scored anything yet because I wanted to be able to do that with you guys. Here is all of my information if you need to screenshot that. I'll bring that down a little bit. It's got my hostess code, my Facebook group, of course, my YouTube channel, my email address, and my online store is all right there. If you need any of that, you can screenshot. I am going to see if I can make my video just a hair bigger. I'll bring my camera down a little bit, maybe. And see if that works. See if we can get that to, whoops. It's so hard to keep yourself in focus. There we go. Now we can see the card a little bit better. And the info. So there's that. Here's our cards. We're going to work on this one. So let's set it to the side. Get that out of the way. I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, because we are going to be scoring our paper, our cardstock, which is Evening Evergreen, cut at 8 1/4 by 5 1/2, and we're going to score it. We're going to score this at 2 inches, 4 1/8 inch, and because I don't like, we're supposed to go to 6 1/4, but I don't like to go to 6 1/4 on this cutting, on this cutting tool. So I am going to turn it around and do at 2 inches on this side, which I tend to do that a lot anyway, but you can do it either way. But it's 2 inches from either side, and it's 4 1/8 in the middle. The reason why this is cut 8 1/4 is because when you fold it, you're not meeting in here. So by the time you get it, it is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, because you got this gap in here, and it fits in an envelope just fine. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to fold on my middle line right now. I'm just going to fold my two outside where we scored. I'm going to fold those two, and I'm just going to fold them in. And what I'm going to do, I have 4 pieces of DSP, and I cut all of mine the same on this card. This card has them all cut the same. This card, what I did was cut this, and then I used the back side on in here, but I'm using them all the same on this card, so the inside and the outside match. Okay, so let's glue these on real quick. I'll do my 2 outer ones on my outside first. So let's do that. So I'm just putting glue all over this, and I'm going to bring it. I'm actually going to open that so I can see that on white instead of all of it on the dark green. And I'm going to make sure I have that pretty well centered. And there we go. Then I'm going to just flip that like that. We're going to do the other side here. So let's take and put this on here. Make sure we did the same thing. And that is our front. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open it up, and on the 2 outside flaps only, we're going to do the same papers. Okay? We're not going to do anything to this inside yet. So let's go ahead and put one here. And then we'll put one on the other side. Okay, and then we'll just rub that down, make sure they're all down really good. So there we go. We have our front and our inside, okay? So we're going to leave this like this for right now. We're going to bring in our circles that we did. And we did the ivory, or the fairy vanilla, I call it ivory half the time, petal pink, and evening evergreen. And these are all out of the layered circles, which I tend to use a whole lot. I will be one sad person if they ever get rid of those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up my stamp, and I'm using evening evergreen, and then I'm just going to take and stamp this in the middle. Holding that down to really ink it, and there we go. So we have that inked up. What we are going to do with that is we are going to just take this very vanilla. We are going to put some glue on it. And we're going to take and we're going to add that to this petal pink scalloped. And the scallops will just barely show around the edges, but that's okay. That's all I want. Then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back, and I'm using the dark since I'm going against that really dark evening evergreen. So let's take these, and we're going to add this to our circle, and we're just going to try to get that into the center of the circle. There we go. So we're going to set that aside for a second. Now, if you go over and get the PDF off of there, it has the pictures of the cards. I also have down here a little diagram, but it's hard to tell with making the mechanism that goes along with this. But it has everything we used, plus it has directions on how to make the card. So you can go over to that Facebook page at Stamp Crazy VIP. If you just type that in, you'll find it. And then you can pull off those PDFs. So right now, what I'm going to do is show you how I did the mechanism. You take a 1/2 inch by 4 inch piece of cardstock. I do the same color, basically, that I match back here, more so than I match here. So, but it matches both, but it's, so I used evening evergreen. And we're going to take and we're going to fold that in half. Okay, and you can just take and use your thumb, or you can take and use a bone folder and make that a really good crease. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take that and you are going to bring it again over. So what your folded piece is going to fold over again. And you want to crease that. Okay. Then when you open it, you've got, here's your, these are your open ends, and this is your fold. You're going to take this folded edge, and right here is where we did that first bend, okay, when we bent it in half. We are going to fold this one down to that first fold that we did. So I kind of hold these up so I can see where I want to go. And we are going to just, I'm going to just do this really good. I want it to hold. Now I'm going to open this, and what it's going to look like is a T. When I push this down, if I push that down and had that, it looks like a T. Okay? So what I want to do is, I want to leave this kind of flat. So what I'm going to do is right in here, I'm going to take my little tool, right in here on each side of this score line on the inside here, I'm going to put a little bit of glue, and I'm going to glue that down. So it'll glue it down right at this first fold right here, okay? So let's open that up. And I'm just putting a little bit of glue on each one of those. And I'm just going to take, and I'm going to fold that over and hold that down. And I'm going to do the same with this one, okay? Whoops. So I want to make sure that's kind of straight. So we've got that. I'm going to lay it down for a minute. Just let that glue take hold for a second. So now what I have, you can really see it looks like a T. See how that looks like a T? There's the horizontal line, and this is the vertical line of a T. That's what it reminds me of. Now this is the same as I made this one. I'm going to keep this one kind of flat to glue this onto here. When I did the butterfly, what I did was I had my butterfly folded. So I had my T down like this, and I put that folded butterfly right here, and then I put glue on each side of here and glued it to my butterfly. And that's what holds that up and gives it the room to put stuff behind it. Okay? But we're going to use this flat. Now, since I'm doing a saying, I want to make sure that I get that on there straight. So when I put that on my card, you know, because this is going to go on your card like this. So you want this to be straight across here. You don't want to get it and you have your saying like this, which I almost did last night when I was doing a saying. So we don't want to do that. But what I'm going to do is just put glue on either side of this creased line. Okay? So let's do that as our next thing we're going to do. And I'm just going to add a little bit of glue. And what I'm going to do is I've got that straight, and I'm going to hold this straight and try to get that basically in the center here. I'm going to eyeball that, and I'm going to lay that down. Whoops. I thought I laid it down, didn't I? But since I got my glue dots on there, I know where I'm going with it. So there we have that. And you want to make sure that it's basically into the center of that, of your card. Because what you are going to do next is we're going to fold this a little bit now. We didn't fold it before because I don't want it real flimsy to do this. This is going to be glued right like this with these little arms glued down to both sides of this. And that's what's going to give this the freedom to be our lock. Okay? So let's make sure that's glued down. I'm going to put glue on these 2 strips. And what I'm going to do, because this is going to cover these strips up, and that's why we're waiting to put them on, because we're going to put this on first. Make sure you got it right side up. You can decide where you want it on your card. You can go high, low, wherever. I think I'm going to stick mine about right here. So what I'm going to do is just take on both sides and hold that down. So I can open it now. I've got it down. Just kind of push on it and make sure it's down good. Okay. So there, behind there is where we've glued that down, okay, on both sides. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take these and we are going to flip them over to what you want your back side to be, because really doesn't matter on DSP unless you cut with a cutter that leaves a kind of like a grooved mark in it. But we're going to take and slip that in under there, and I'm going to put this closer to my scored line back here, because I don't want, when I shut this, I don't want it to be seen on the front. So I'm going to do that and just press down. I'm going to do the same with this one. We're just going to slide it in under there. And then I'm going to come back to my line, or close to this scored line, and I'm going to just make sure that's down. Now I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to rub and just make sure I got all of that down on that mechanism there. And you can write a sentiment in here or do whatever, leave it blank to write a little letter, to do whatever you want. And then what you do is this will tuck behind each one of these, and that is your folded card, okay? My end is showing up here just a little bit, so I'm going to see if I can pull that over yet, but I don't think so, so I'm going to have to leave it there, but that's okay. That's okay too. So let me shut it again. There we go, we have that. And now what we're going to do, and I already colored, I took my dark Evening Evergreen stamping blend, and I colored me 3 jewels with this to put on the front of my card. So let me get that out, and we don't even need the glue anymore. We're finished with all that stuff. This is a quick card. The hardest part is making the little mechanism, but you can do that and have that wherever you want it to go. So let's stick this right over here. So there's our card. It's done. It's really fast. It's fun. It's easy. It's just, you got to make that little mechanism. It's called an accordion lock fold card. So it is a fun fold. It's a gate fold with a mechanism that keeps it locked to where, you know, when you make a gate fold, it always wants to fly open. This way it does not. So you have all that and it's done. So I wanted to bring you that card to you today, and I hope you enjoy it. And until I have another video, which I hope is soon, I will be seeing you then. Also, though, in the meantime, if you don't mind giving me a thumbs up on my video, if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't, and let me know why you didn't. And if you would share it, just hit the share button so somebody else that might see it somewhere, you know, to just share the videos, the stamping videos. And I would love for you to do that for me if you would. Thank you, and have a great day or night, whatever time you're watching this, and be blessed. Bye.